let's get into this topic right here. Woo, you ever been arrested? Me too. You ever had handcuffs on? Me too. I ain't proud of that. Those are the stripes I don't want. They're two sleeves, right? One side has stripes I don't want. Oh man, I've been shot at. Oh man, I've been handcuffed. Oh man, I've been jacked. All that stuff that sounds good when you go away for college. You'll be like, really? You're from there? Oh my God. And then there's a side where I'm proud of, right? I'm a national typewriting champion. Damn it, you better recognize, right? I've been in the game longer than you've been alive, partner. You know what I'm saying? I'm NFL top 50 twice, boy. All pro, homie. You know what I mean? Like, that's the side I want to talk about. Well, let's go back to the other side. Because Terrell Davis found himself on this side. Well, you got arrested. Oh, man, this ain't it. Now, we already talked about that layer of the topic, but there's a greater story. So Terrell Davis, Good Morning America, Robin Roberts, he goes on there with his wife and tells, we have video now, he tells what happened in his words. Now, it's one thing to have prose and write it down and have your lawyers check it and proofread it and send it back and then let Microsoft Word have fun with it, right? It's another thing where it's like, and action. What happened? Woo. Well, we about to find out. Listen to Terrell Davis talk about this. And boy, now I understand why the police read us our Miranda rights. Let's talk.
Let's take us, for people who are not familiar with the story. You're on a flight.
Yeah.
Beverage service starts.
Yeah.
Tell us what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's an ordinary flight. They have the beverage service that starts, and I'm in row 11, and I'm in the aisle. My oldest son is right next to me in the middle seat. My youngest son is in the window seat. My wife is across the aisle, and my wife and daughter across the aisle in one row back. Mm-hmm. And so it's a typical flight, nothing out of the ordinary. Beverage service starts, and the gentleman pulls up, and I'm reading a magazine. My kids are playing with their iPads, so I heard him ask, like, what do you want, like, beverage, what do you want? Mm-hmm. And they were busy playing with the iPad, so they didn't respond. And I remember the tone got a little bit more aggressive. And I was like, man, that was kind of rude for him to ask my kids like that. So they got startled. They ordered their drinks, and I remember this. He puts the drinks down on the tray, but with force. Like, you could, I mean, he just kind of slams them down. They say thank you. He doesn't say anything. So I was like, all right, whatever. So he asked me my order. I give him my order. Again, kind of slams the drink down. And again, I'm thinking, well, what is going on with this guy? But whatever. As he gives me my drink, he starts to move the cart. And my son says, excuse me, might I have some ice? And he obviously didn't hear my son ask for ice. So he moved the cart probably past my seat. And so my hand was up like, excuse me. And then I finally said, excuse me, can I get some ice? I just tapped him on the shoulder. He swings his arm back and said, don't hit me. And I'm like, dude, I didn't hit you. And then he rushes up to the front of the plane. He leaves the cart right there. And the gentleman in front of me turns around and says, I saw everything. I saw that. Like why did you didn't hit him? I'm like, of course I didn't hit him. So as I'm sitting there on the plane, it was bizarre because he's up there for a couple of minutes, and again, I was like, whatever. So I started reading the magazine.
So you don't think anything of it?
Nothing of it. Yeah. He comes back. He puts the cup of ice on my son's tray. He then takes the cart and takes it back up to first class. And about 3 minutes later, another flight attendant takes over. She brings the cart down, starts servicing the area, and that's it. Mm-hmm. But then, I don't see him for the rest of the flight.
You don't see him for the rest of the flight?
But
what did you see when you landed? What did you hear and see once the plane had
that's
landed?
A different story. I mean, when we landed, they told everybody to remain in their seats because, for whatever reason. And I thought it was a medical emergency. I fly a lot, so I've seen that before, where they say, stay in your seat, someone they need to tend to. And so I've seen that before. So, again, I'm just reading a magazine, and 4 or 5 minutes pass, and then my head is down, and I can hear like the walkie-talkies. I hear a lot of the gear and wrestling of like you can hear when they come on, and everybody you can kind of hear like the awls, or like you can hear people the reactions to them coming on.
Yeah. When you say they coming on, who's coming on? The FBI.
FBI. Big FBI letters on the jackets.
Big as daylight. Can't miss it.
Yeah.
Okay.
FBI. I believe it was Orange County Sheriff Department. Guys with green. I didn't know who they were at the time, but you can tell it was
law enforcement.
Law enforcement. Mm-hmm. Without explaining to me why they were doing it, they walk up to me, and the guy he whispers in my ear. He says, "Don't fight it," and he puts cuffs on me
while he's still
while I'm sitting down.
With everybody still on the plane.
Everybody's on the plane.
He never introduced, acknowledged or confirmed that it was Terrell.
Or say, hey, here's why. Here's what happened.
We're doing this, or
nothing.
Can I ask what happened? He just walked straight up to him and placed hands.
And what was it like for you to go to see your husband in handcuffs?
I thought it was a joke, because what else could it be? And I saw the agents come on, so of course it caught my attention like everyone else, and they just walked straight up to Terrell and just played. And so I jumped out of my seat and I said, wait a minute, like, what's going on? And I hopped over the woman next to me, and I was kind of like, to Terrell, are you joking? Like, is this a practical, is this a prank? Like, and he just said quietly, no, it's not. And I'm looking at my sons, who are sitting right next to him, watching their dad being handcuffed. And what could we do? And I'm asking them, what is going on? Like, why are you doing this? Why? And they pick him, have him stand up and pull him out. So I go after him, and he's telling me to stop. And then I'm standing there. The kids are still sitting in their seat. Everyone's staring at us.
It was just.
And the children are ages 9 to 13?
We have 13. Our sons are 13 and 11. Our daughter is 9. No one helped me. No, they came back. They asked for a jacket to drape over Terrell's wrist. I said, can we get off the plane? So I yelled to the kids, let's go. I grabbed Terrell's bag out of the overhead. Where do we go? Like, what do we do? I want to go with him. No one, we were just left to fend for ourselves on a flight with everyone staring at us.
Woo! There's a lot of meat on that bone right there. Man, first of all, that's crazy, right? Like, we're going to go a little more detailed. There's probably going to be another video of this, because some TikToker out there filmed this whole thing. Somebody had to in this world today, right? But I just want to preface everything by saying how nice of a dude Terrell Davis is. Just on GP. I know, obviously, tons of football players, and he is in the top 1% of cool dudes. Just get that out the way, okay? Really doesn't have any indication of what happened in this moment, because I'm a very nice guy, but I got about 8 moments in my life where if you caught me with the camera, you would have seen a little different version of me. All right, so let me just get that out the way. I love me some TD. Okay, and his wife, golly, when Robert Roberts, whenever you want to take a break, let her take it. Man, she was eloquent. She was breaking that thing down. Looked amazing, all the above. Why didn't Strahan do this interview? I digress. Okay. Some things that I picked up on in the video. Now hearing him talk, because this is different than the Instagram post, right? Of him just writing out what him and his lawyers came up with. And it's funny because when you see him on there with his wife, obviously he's talked to his lawyers. So obviously this does have, I'm going to say this loosely, a script to it. Tell him exactly what happened, Terrell. Emotionally, it's okay. Let's stay here. Let's not go there. I'll talk through it. First thing I noticed was, damn, Terrell Davis was in coach. Let me stop. 11. He said seat 11, row 11. I was like, that's called being a family man, brother. I don't know. It's probably a Denver to Orange County flight is not a gigantic airplane. So 11 is coach. And then the wife is sitting in the row behind you. Yeah, that's how I travel when I go see my wife's family in Vancouver. We in the back of that plane, 5 rows scattered. I don't give a damn. As long as we land. Okay, let me stop joking. He's getting in front of it. There's a lawsuit coming, I would assume. He said his lawyers already own the case. They're giving a call to United Airlines. It could be a settlement. Lawsuit could mean easy settlement, mediation to settlement. That's what 98% of the cases are now. Rarely do you go to court now. 1, it's too expensive. 2, too time consuming. And 3, I wanted 100%, I'll take 80 in the easier way, which is mediation, right? So this is headed towards that if you want to ask me. Okay, now, flight attendant, or excuse me, I like to say sometimes things that are not respectful. I got that in me. Stewardess. I didn't think that was wrong with saying stewardess or steward. And then we had to change the flight attendant. Look, sometimes they don't attend to you. So you're still a steward or stewardess. Whoa, how zesty do Terrell made that dude sound the zestiest in life. Zestfully clean. I'm not fully clean unless I'm zestfully clean. Going to the front. Okay. Terrell tapped you. Terrell hit you, as you say. I mean, hey, man. Like, all right, let's go. I'm out. Don't hit me. I'm out. I don't think the version of this story is exactly emotionally like Terrell's saying it. And I don't believe that Zestfully Clean was right in that response. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know, and I'm going to tell you why. Emotionally, when you're charged up, you are doing things you don't even notice. You are doing things you are not even catching. So, this is why they always tell you, and the police always tell you, you have a right to remain silent. This is why when you're talking, they want you to talk to your lawyers first. And if you don't, you're in this situation. Terrell talked to his lawyers, but this is what came out. They're going to use this against him. I should say it just like that. Terrell Davis took notice of a flight attendant not being pleasant to his family. I can see the lawyer right now. I can see him. Got it, his pocket protector on. Yeah, Terrell. So you say he was slamming, or as your words were, kind of slamming, which is a weird thing. Do you slam or not? Anyway, kind of slamming the cups down. How did that make you feel? He ignored your son or didn't hear your son? How did that make you feel? Okay. So you took notice of all this, and then not only was he not being polite, he walks away. Terrell Davis, big, legendary Hall of Fame football player, ignored, disrespected, someone not being polite to him. In a world where everyone applauds you and lauds you, how did that make you feel? I'm just telling you, yay, yay. Reasonable doubt. Okay, so that's part one. Terrell's emotional content, what he thinking, and context of like, hey man, this is my kids, and they're not paying attention, but they're kids, and then you really going in, and then when you walk by and ignore it, do I go, hey man, or do I go, hey, or I go, excuse me, sir, like what did that tap? How did it really come out? What kind of energy was in that tap? They're going to ask Terrell that in depth. Here's the second thing, and as great and amazing as his wife came off, here's the one thing they're going to hang on to with her. So, ma'am, this was a very humiliating experience, right? Obviously frustrated, powerless, your words, angry, you guys said in your post. Can you reconcile all of those negative emotions with the fact that you, in the moment, when it's occurring in front of dozens to hundreds of people, thought it was a joke? How could something so horrific, how could something that is so upsetting be deemed a joke? Was it that devastating? So this is trying, like, okay, even if Terrell is right, how much did it really affect y'all? How much did it really impact y'all since you over there thinking this is a joke? That's all I caught on that. That's why they read you your Miranda rights. I remember the times I got hemmed up. Woo! My first time, I was kind of like, hey, I didn't do it. And I did it, but I didn't mean to. And then I learned. And it's so tempting because you think you're going to say something that's going to show that you're right, because that's how our brains are wired. We're wired to, I know what I want to say. I know what I want to happen. So I'm going to find all the information to support that. However, we are forgetting there is information that can disprove what we are saying and what we want. And that's what the police, and that's what reporters, and that's what lawyers go find out. Oh, yeah, keep talking. What about this? You're like, I ain't say nothing about that. Oh, what do you mean? We'll see how this plays out. We got one more Terrell Davis interview to do because it's going to be with a TikToker. I love the dude too much, so this is why I'm doing this, to put him in a positive light, but also bring the situation in balance. Because it's just something, there's one more element, right? This Rubik's Cube ain't perfectly fixed. There's a green over there on the red for some reason. I got to get to the bottom of that. All right, let's get to